So during Chad's live stream, I had a hot take.
What do you guys think about this? Robert's Infinite Realm says hot take classified isn't going to last much longer. QC combined with lacking interest.
Here is the thing. I try to, with each classified figure I buy, I try to go back when I was a kid and remember where I was with the line as a kid. And I know there's a ton left, but they already announced some in the pipeline, but we're getting close. I feel like I'm getting close to where I was with my collection as a kid. You know what I mean? So I don't know even what's left to make until you start getting into the kooky shit. Like
the real goofy shit.
I think we're almost there.
Now, do we really need to talk about the issues with all the soft weapons? I mean, I feel like we've gone over that a million times in a million ways, and every time it's the same thing. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that it doesn't get addressed, and it's ridiculous that it's even there. Now, the part on interest, that's a little tougher because you can argue that, but really think what the guys say here about, interest and silly stuff in the line in the live stream, and go watch the live stream to see what I'm talking about. But I think that also hits a big part of why I think this is kind of dipping and kind of going to take a major dip in the next little bit.
Real goofy shit. They're already doing fucking Raptor. So
no. So Raptor was well. My thing is just this. I'm 10 mainline figures away, like Blowtorch and Alpine and what's the MP with the
Law and Order?
Law and Order. Those are my
based on Kirk Bazigian. Where the fuck is Flash?
Flash is an original member though. It's true.
Yeah, where's Flash?
Me as a collector, I'm near my limit for Joes. I need about 10 solid Joes, and I'll be good. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there like me as well. Then I might go into Valaverse more.
Going off what Robert said and piggybacking off what you said, like you're getting to the point where you're almost at your original fizzle out from like 87.
Yes.
When I would go to Joe Fest and Hasbro's not there, they have no presence. No one misses them.
Right.
No one misses the Hasbro people not being at Joe Fest. Nobody misses like any of that.
I think G.I. Joe fatigue is coming. I think we're about a year away. I don't know if I had to ballpark it.
So
I think they got another 2 years.
2 years.
If they're moving slow,
I was really
shocked. It feels slow. So
now, Jerk and Gaines had some interesting thoughts on this. Now, at the time I said it was 2 years tops. Actually, thinking about it, I'm thinking I might cut the difference and say year and a half. And for a lot of the reasons that Gaines has said, and a lot of reasons that Jerk has said, because, we're running to the point of fizzling out, because a lot of people fizzled out on G.I. Joe at the point we're getting to, and there aren't many left. He's right. I mean, there aren't many. That's the way I feel. I mean, I stayed through G.I. Joe through the whole run, but at the same time, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't the same. It never was the same as it was after 86. And even 86 had its issues. You were getting all kinds of replacement guys, like Leatherneck was replacing Gung Ho, and Dial Tone was replacing Breaker, and, it didn't ring the same way. And I really felt it in 86, and then 87 with Cobra Law, I was out for a little while, for 8 months, until we got Shockwave and Storm Shadow version 2. I thought Storm Shadow version 2 was something I was going to get, but then I saw what they did with him, and I'm like, no. And I know this take is going to piss people off, but at the same time, let's think about it. Honestly, they've barely done any original stuff, and the original stuff, quote unquote, looks a lot more like somebody's copied homework. The Mole Rat looked like it was a copy of Zombie Viper. And let's be honest, I mean, Wolf Spider looked like a dead-on copy of Beachhead version 3. It's not really a whole lot going in here with any actual thought. It's just cut and paste, if you really think about it. You're just upscaling. So yeah, this is going to be a hot take. I mean, I know some people are going to get mad at this one. But as a great man once said,
Nostalgia isn't a jet, it's a glider. The ground is going to keep getting closer. And most of the time we learn too late our glider was made from flimsy styrofoam, making the impact beyond brutal. Hasbro could have been looking at the world today and really considering how a military toy line could be relevant culturally. Instead, even as the world becomes more politically polarized, even as infrastructures around the world collapse under a myriad of socio-political conditions, even as sovereign nations are invaded by belligerent neighboring powers, Hasbro just doesn't see an opportunity for G.I. Joe beyond vapid nostalgia bait.
I swear that's one of my favorite clips of YouTube ever. So now that we are at this point with the glider, how soon until the ground comes crashing below us? Let's face it, it's not long. Spatial orientation is going to kick in and people are going to realize these big vehicles, they can't go anywhere. I mean, they just take up a lot of real estate. And yeah, they're kind of fun, but when you start taking up real estate, it really makes you think, okay, where am I going to put this? That really hit home with me on the Vanguard when I got it this week. It's like, wow, where am I going to put this? And I'm still struggling. So vehicles are not going to be a thing for me. And I know a couple other guys are like, yeah, I mean, after this, where is it going to go? You know, it's just not a world building scale. It never has been. Never will be. You can get some world building out of it, yeah. But after a while, it's just going to be like, this is taking up too much space. I can't handle it. And I know a lot of the diehards are going to scream and yell. And man, I remember these guys from the anniversary lines. They were so into G.I. Joe, G.I. Joe, G.I. Joe, G.I. Joe. It'll never die, it'll never die. And then it died. And a lot of people blame Retaliation for it. Me, I don't think they had a plan after Retaliation because it just seemed to fizzle after Retaliation. I don't think Hasbro as a company had any plans for G.I. Joe past that. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. But fan apathy was at all-time high back then, too. Not so much now, granted, but everybody they got is on a nostalgia kick. And that only lasts for so long, as we've already discussed. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure the Fang's going to still come out. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a few more vehicles. But at some point, it's going to slow down and stop. Because that's what Hasbro does every damn time. Once they don't need G.I. Joe, it disappears. And before you think, oh no, this can never happen, look what happened to Power Rangers. Where did they go? Oh, but Hasbro owns this IP. They own Dungeons and Dragons too. Look how they flubbed that. I mean, they're starting to license out stuff. Think about it. Now, on the plus side, with them licensing things out, it might mean G.I. Joe won't totally die like it has in the past. But, is it really going to be something you want to buy? We'll talk about, we can talk about Super 7 if you want, but I think that one is obvious. The O-ring figures and prototypes don't look that great. So, yeah. And the Transformer crossovers are doing okay, but that's only going to go so far, too. I'm surprised they're doing a Titan class one, though. That's interesting. So, do I mean to be doom and gloom on this? No, I'm trying to be realistic. Nearly there. I mean, I think Gaines said it best. It's at the point he fizzled out and moved on to other stuff. And once they hit that point, what do? Yeah, you still got the original 13 left to go, but let's face it, beyond that, there isn't even much for the nostalgia bait. I don't know. Maybe they'll get lucky and get some 90s kids in there who really love the neon at night. I'm sorry, Chad. But past that, I don't see it lasting. I really don't. Again, it was a fun novelty for its time, but I just don't see it being sustainable. Nor do I see it lasting very long because the company doesn't really believe in it. It gets bursts of popularity, but in the end, it's that property that Hasbro doesn't like to admit they own. Okay, that's my hot take for the most part. Thank you for listening, and you guys have a good day.